Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where today we have the SH Figure Arts Romance Dawn Roronoa Zoro from the One Piece line. This is pre-time skip Zoro, which is my favorite Zoro, at least look-wise, I mean character-wise too. He was much goofier back then, and I think he's just too serious after the time skip, honestly, but, you know, let's get into this guy. Well, before we do that, we'll look at... You got the product shots, you got face shots of the stuff he comes with face-wise, you got another product shot, you see the actual figure, Roronoa Zoro, Romance Dawn, another product shot, SH Figure Arts, you got the Luffy hat cutout, more Zoro, and you got the legalese and all that stuff, yeah, and we'll just open up both sides, frick it, don't really matter, assuming you open it from this side though. This is the easier side to cut. And then you have the instructions on how to do the faces and all that. I already know how to do that, but you see everything it comes with. You just pull them out. Just pull them out on camera, screw it. Okay, and I have not touched this guy at all. This is my first time fiddling with this guy because I wanted to see if he's better than the other Zoro, which from all the accounts I've seen, he definitely is. So that's very much good to hear because Zoro is my favorite One Piece character, and I'm glad that we're getting the pre-time skip crew completed, at least the main ones that were pre-time skip. I mean, I don't think we're gonna get, at least not right this second, we're probably not gonna get pre-time skip Brooke or Frankie or even Nico Robin, which that's the only character I feel like I need in order to have my favorite characters. Robin and Garp are probably, and Smoker. Robin, Garp, Smoker, and Zoro are like my favorite One Piece characters. So let's me pray, I hope and pray that I get those. But oh, he looks really good, actually. I'm very pleasantly surprised with the way this guy looks. Yeah, I'm happy to finally have this guy in the collection, and I'm actually gonna move the camera a little bit off to the side, just so I can do this a little better. Yeah, he looks great. He's very, very good looking figure, and yeah. He doesn't have a lot of paint on him. I mean, what you see is what you get, really. Besides, you see the face, you get paint on that. You're gonna get like a little, it seems like there's like shading on the shirt, like light shading on the shirt and maybe on the skin. Besides that, it's mostly just molded plastic in that color for the figure. The face also has the gold earrings, the 3 earrings, and yeah. So let's I guess let's get into the articulation segment. For that, I'm gonna move the camera back. Try to get it a little bit more in focus. Okay. So for articulation, the head is on a ball joint, double ball joint, one down in the neck, and then one up at the top. So you get all the range you need out of him for the most part. I wish we could get a little bit more up, but it's better than nothing. So, and it's honestly better than the old Zoro. The old Zoro can only look up that much. This Zoro can look up a lot more, actually, so that's good. Oh, I dropped that Zoro. Yeah, it's fine. And then, yeah, so you got the arm, like, weird. Oh, wow, that's really strange. That's really strange. Pop that apart and we'll look at that on the inside. So, like a ball joint in there? I don't know how to explain that joint, but it's like a faux butterfly joint. Like, it just goes all around in that socket, so that's good. You got a upper bicep swivel. You can move the arms really anywhere you need to, honestly. They're gonna look a little gappy, a little amazing Yamaguchi gappy, but these, I feel like this is way too overly engineered. At least they didn't overly engineer the bandana coming off like they did the last one. But yeah, you got an upper bicep swivel, you got a double jointed elbow, and then for the torso, does he have anything down in there? He is. Okay. So he has a ball joint up at the top of this part, and with that, okay, well, I popped it off, but now you get about there. but with all of it, you get about there. I wish he had one down at the bottom. I'm shocked he doesn't have that. I think even the other Zoro had that. But you get pretty good movement for what you want from this guy in that section, I feel like. And then you got the wonky, SH Figure Arts hips. You can not quite do the splits, but if you maneuver it correctly and, get it in the right angles, you can do pretty close to splits. You got upper thigh swivel. You got a single jointed knee, which sucks. This should not have a single jointed knee. Yeah, so SH Figure Arts, stop doing stupid shit like this, especially with the One Piece line. These characters are very agile and do crazy shit on the daily. Please, for the love of God, put more love into the One Piece line. You got a boot swivel, and then you have the, forward-facing pin for rocker and all that down there. It's really not a pin. It's like a kind of like a ball. It's a hinge swivel hinge, like ball joint type thing. So, and same with the wrists. So you can move that in all directions. The One Piece line is a line that I want to succeed very badly because I love One Piece. It is definitely my favorite anime out of the big three. And it's one of my favorite anime from that era, honestly. I mean, it's just really good. The characters are great. The artwork, I love this goofiness of the old One Piece stuff. So yeah. Next we're going to get into accessories. So you're going to hear it. I'm just going to dump all these little shitters out. Okay, so for accessories, you get the obvious, like the swords. So you get the sword and the scabbards, and then you can take those out, but it's just the actual handle, and then you get the replacement swords. So if you want one out, take that out, but the corresponding sword, whatever. You get two of these ones, which are just normal swords, and then you get the Wado Ichimonji, which is my favorite of Zoro swords. I love Wado Ichimonji. It's really cool. Because back before, time skip and all that, he didn't have all these crazy swords that he has now. He had just, the only special sword he had was Wado Ichimonji, and then he just had like two normal ass swords, so. He didn't have the cursed blades or Enma or anything like that, so. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then, he also comes with blade gripping hands, sword gripping hands, which is nice. And then he comes with blades, like hilt gripping hands, so you can actually put his hand on the hilts like he's gonna pop it, which is nice because the others already did not come with that, and I have to use the open swords for that type of pose that I want to do. And then you have the open hands, sorry is what I mean. And then you get these open hands, which are the same as the old ones. And then you get the face plates. So for the face plates, you get the Laughing Zoro, which is great. Great to get that. That's the Zoro that I miss. You get the Angry. Luffy just did some stupid shit Zoro. You get the big ass forehead Zoro. You get the sword holding in his mouth Zoro, but I like these because you can pop, that's the reason the forehead's so big, by the way. You can pop that off and just have him just smiling there in his bandana, which I like. So that's nice. I do kind of wish that they figured out another way to do this where you could interchange all the faces between the bandana and not the bandana, but it's not too big of a deal. It's not gonna make me lose sleep overnight or anything. And then last but not least for this, he has a dent in his teeth, and the sword hilt has an indentation in it that you can kind of put that in there so he can do three sword style. So that is really cool to have. And I don't have, for size comparisons, we're going to get into size comparisons right in a second. Oh, also, like I mentioned, this is removable instead of the whole arm being removable. It's just the band, which is so much better. So much better. So much better. So thank you, SH Figure Arts, for actually taking some feedback into consideration and being smart. Okay, so for size comparisons, we're going to start off with the, we'll go with the other Zoro. And you can see they're about the same. The hair is a little different, like the color. Oh, shoot. I'm glad that didn't break this. I'm actually going to take these swords off while I do size comparisons. But what I wanted to check out real quick is I just wanted to see if you could swap the heads out, maybe. And you could, if you wanted Zoro to go back to his old ways of, wearing this outfit, you could totally do that. or if you want to act like Zoro, or young Zoro, or this, I mean, you could do that too. It's a little looser, but you could do it. But they're gonna stay respectively on their own bodies for me, because I much prefer this figure, and I much prefer that look of the figure I prefer. So that's good. It's good that the figure I actually like is the look for the character that I like. So we'll do that. Just keep in mind those swords are gonna kind of, but they're about the same size, which makes sense. Zoro was pretty full grown. Like I think he was like 20 years old when the anime started, so I don't think he would have grown too much more, you know, in size. And then we're gonna go with the Sanji from the Raiden Onigashima. And Sanji's a little taller, but that's fine. I've always viewed Sanji as like the tallest one in the crew of like that version of the crew. So like, I know he's not taller than. I know he's not taller than Frankie or Brooke, but you know what I mean. So I always view him as taller, so I'm fine with that. And I always view Zoro as pretty short king status, honestly. And then next we're gonna go with the other two pre-time skip figures I have, which is the Romance Dawn Luffy, which I'm so happy to get this guy. This is a way better Luffy figure, so that gives me hope for the rest of the Romance Dawn line. And I don't have, sadly, I don't have the Nami yet. I'll probably pick her up eventually. I'm not a big Nami fan, but especially pre-time skip Nami. She's been growing on me post-time skip, but pre-time skip Nami, I just did not like her, especially with her will she, won't she be part of the crew type thing at the very first couple arcs, like up until Arlong Park, like that. I definitely didn't like that version of Nami. It's the same type of problem I have with Chloe from the Uncharted games. I don't like the people that just keep switching up and betraying, and you know, I don't like that type of character. But Nami has definitely grown on me, so I will say that. Not a Sanji fan, but I'm a bit of a Nami, coming around to Nami, let's say that. But yeah, this is Luffy and Ace, both pre-time skip figures, and yeah, these two are probably going to be teaming up a lot because I really like the idea of an Ace and Zoro team up. And then for the rest of the SH figure arts, I have the Raiden Onigashima Luffy, and we'll look at him. And this Luffy I gave them beat to from the other Luffy because they were very interchangeable. And then I have the Figma Nezuko. She's going to be a little bit weird because she has the stand. But yeah, Figma's a bit smaller than that. And then we have the SH figure arts, Naruto, Uzumaki, and the Goku. So, hi, it's me, Goku. So, got those. And then for some more domestic stuff, these are just ones I have open, so sorry. This is the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap, new Bucky Cap, and this is the new Moonstone Warbird. So, yeah, I don't really have any other sword characters to compare him to. I guess I can do Wolverine. I've got a Mezco Wolverine, so he's got 3 swords on each hand, so. And then I also have the Mezco Cyclops, which I feel like that really works. Cyclops is a bit taller than those characters, but this feels true 6-inch scale, so that could work. This one feels a little bit more 7-inch scale. Okay, so that's everything. Thanks for watching, everyone. I really recommend you get this guy, and he is the best one in the line so far, in my opinion. I'm definitely biased because I'm a huge Zoro fan, but he's definitely way better than the old Zoro. So I definitely recommend him. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.